Good afternoon and welcome everyone to another webinar from Sustained Leadership webinar series. I'm really pleased to welcome you and welcome a very special guest today, who for me is a reference in human resource and HR leadership. She's a thought leader. She's someone that I look forward to her Twitters because they're always so insightful. And she's really a star, not because she's a friend that I'm saying that, but really she's a thought leader in her field. And we're really happy and lucky to have her today to speak about a new trend and a concept that probably is known to some, but still unknown or probably misunderstood by many. So before we kick off, I had thought to launch a poll, just even if we have just few attendees for now, and to ask each of you if you have heard about gig economy or gig work before. So if you can just vote and see. All right, now that we have, all right, 2 people know about it, which is the majority based on the numbers that we have now. How about if I ask a question and then you can answer in the chat, what does gig economy or gig work mean to you? You can say it in a word or in a sentence, because it'll be great to see if we are aligned with the definition that the experts will give us today. Ayad is saying, obviously, many people are in the employee category, not in the gig economy. Great, okay. So what is gig economy in your understanding, Ayad? I'm really curious to know. If you can just share with us, please. Or anybody. What is your understanding of gig economy? Hiring talent as and when needed for short term. Great, very good. Thanks for sharing. Okay, so today we'd like to hear a bit more from you, Hanadi, about gig economy that is undoubtedly growing as an emerging trend and that is still unknown or probably, like I said, misunderstood. So we're happy to have you with us today so you can enlighten us and highlight a little bit more about what is gig economy and how is it growing as a trend, and will it really be the future of work, as I see you always talking about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hanan, for your lovely introduction, and thank you for having me on this webinar and to talk about this topic, which is really, you see it, it's really gaining a lot of momentum nowadays, and you see the word gig economy floating around. But it comes with a caveat that we want to highlight: it is not a fad. It is not just a trend that's going to come and pass, but we want to be very, we want to approach it with an open mind that it is going to become mainstream. It is here to stay and to become an important component of the reset, of the HR reset and the HR or the future of work as such. In conversations about gig economy these days, I find, I mean, you said it in the beginning, there's a lot of misconceptions and misperceptions and ambiguity about what gig economy is and who gig workers are, right? And I think I've learned now, I mean, every time when we are talking about gig economy, to kind of like pause and take a step back and define it. And when we define gig economy, define it in context of give it a context. So define it in context of this region. We're talking today in context of the Middle East and North Africa region. So with that, and that becomes like sort of your baseline. This definition in context of this part of the world becomes your baseline for any future conversation about gig economy. If I want to define gig economy, I would look first at the traditional work economy. So traditional work economy is typically your long-term employee who works with one company, who is at a proximity, for example, distance from where they live, right? A commuting or proximity distance to where they live. They are full-time and salaried employees. When we define gig economy, we look at it at what it comprises. So it comprises of 2 things. It comprises of short-term or limited-term employees with no geographical boundaries with the companies or whoever is employing them or whoever is hiring them. And gig economy, so I mean, with that in mind, gig economy has not been a foreign concept to us in this part of the world. We didn't understand it as gig economy, right? But we've always practiced it. We've practiced it as your temporary staff that you hire during seasonal demand. We practice this as when you hire your temporary administrator when somebody goes on leave, or I mean, filling up for shoes for someone who goes on leave. Consultants that company onboard into organizations. But so the term is not, we didn't use the term or the acronym gig economy, but we always we would gig out. Yeah. In today's words, we would gig out these jobs to short-term employees. The other thing is now, and then with time, the term gig economy started picking up with the Uber drivers of the world, the Careem drivers of the world, the delivery, the food delivery, like retail delivery people. It became more prominent when we are talking about virtual assistants, and more so when we are talking tech talent. So tech talent, a lot of companies realize I don't have to hire a data scientist full time in my company. I will hire this this data scientist or any tech talent. They could be sitting in Poland or could be sitting in anywhere around the world, right? For all I care, as long as my work is getting done. So we're seeing this trend picking up in that space in tech talent, though it is not the norm yet. So with that in mind, the concept is not foreign to us. It's only now we need to understand it with a different lens. And with that, I want to circle back to the definition and focus on two things. Two key things in that. Employee, right? The first thing is employee. Your tech, we need to focus on these things, which I mentioned in my definition, simply because unless organizations and their corresponding HR internalize these terms, internalize them, make them relevant, understand their meaning, understand the definition, and only then they will be able to maximize the potential of the talent that they are going to hire through the economy. So circling back to the definition, you're talking about, I mentioned they are short-term employees. They are employees. Your gig workers are your employees. They sit in your ecosystem. They are, they deliver on your company's vision. They are part of your culture. They get influenced and influence your culture. So they are no longer, and they should not be sitting on the fringe, on the out fringe or the outside fringe of your organization, which is currently the practice. These people come and go as on the only difference is that the way we invite you to look at it as employee, because simply they are that. The only difference is the contractual basis they come into, right? But at the end of the day, they are influencing your vision and your culture. And so the other aspect is,
sorry to ask you a question. Do you think now with the remote work that everybody got used to, that was imposed on us with the pandemic, companies or business leaders and HR who were really very rigid on having people working from outside, do you think that is accelerating the acceptance of including gig economy even for professionals, senior professionals, and who to ask better than someone who has held leadership positions in HR in the likes of Majid Al Futtaim before you decided to go on your entrepreneurial journey? And I know that you are launching or you co-founded an organization that is actually focused on gig economy. So that means that you really see the need and you see the potential. So I would like to just know and highlight to the audience more about, are we seeing the emergence and are we seeing the expansion of this concept towards other professions, or is that what made you really look into it more and embrace it?
Absolutely. Because, so the myth about gig economy is you're looking at, service types of roles or tech talent, etc. However, it is a myth. Gig economy is much broader than that, and the gig economy will encompass, let's say, expert talent, professional expert talent, and C-suite level talent. And when you realize then the sort of when you look at gig economy with this broad lens, let's say that it includes your executive level, it includes also your professional experts, right? Then you can only imagine the opportunities and the opportunities available for HR and their organizations to have access to an incredible pool of rockstar talent, expert talent available for them on demand, right? At a click of a button, and right, to help them fill in on fill on skill gaps in the organization, to help them deliver on their vision, to help them sort of balance out costs so they can maximize the potential of on the talent that they are hiring, to reduce costs of the talent acquisition, which is astronomical figure, right? So there are a lot of, so once we start looking at gig economy, absolutely, it is not limited to the categories like I mentioned earlier, and when I'm defining economy, but it also includes experts, etc.
What are the benefits to the experts as well? You think what would be the benefits to somebody like myself who has left the full-time employment, or all these individuals that kind of like got the taste of working at their own flexibility, at their own on their own terms. Exactly, and you're one of them, and we can count so many. What would be the benefits that would be really attractive as well, to talent, to experts and professionals?
It's at the end of the day, it's a lifestyle that I choose, right? Mm-hmm. The benefit I see. It's a lifestyle type of career I'm building for myself. It is a career and this lifestyle is. I see my well-being in working this kind of work, and doing gig work, rather than being a corporate employee sitting behind my desk, let's say from 8 to 5:30. Right? This is a lifestyle that I choose. This is a lifestyle that I am a knowledge worker. I choose to gig my knowledge to multiple industries. The learning opportunities, being immersed with different industries is just unbelievable. The learning, the fast-paced life that I am going to lead, having to deal with multiple industries, having to be on top of my game, invest in my self-learning, more time to invest in my self-learning and self-development. These are some of the benefits that will appeal to a lot of these experts we are talking to today. And I am one of them, like you mentioned. After 18 years in the corporate world, when I got like sort of the taste of what it means to be entrepreneurial and doing my own thing, it kind of like, do I want to go back to a corporate job? Maybe not, right? And at this stage, this is the lifestyle that I would like to lead. So it's a lifestyle, it's a wellness thing, it's a learning, it's fast-paced learning, and the networking opportunity with experts like myself, right? It appears, this is also what appeals to me. And and I speak on behalf of, and I'm sure you concur with me probably on a lot of these that I shared with you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. And I think you see, today I saw on the news, I think there was an announcement by Mr. Mohammed Abbad, how they were removing all titles and roles, and they will be just working as teams. So what is that telling us? That conventional of wanting to have probably a corporate employee title, that I am a senior director or a VP or all of that we grew up with in our generations and generations before us, is going to be really obsolete, which means it doesn't matter if you're really affiliated with a company, because at the end of the day,
Absolutely.
This is the trend. We're just going to be looking at the project and what you are delivering.
Absolutely.
And I love that. This is really fresh news from this morning.
Absolutely.
And you just validated that it's going to be how you can really deliver the project rather than who you are, what kind of business card you hold. And that was really refreshing. So I think you are at the right time. Yeah. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And he is like, this is like sort of where you would want to see organizations, taking the lead. So an organization such as Amar, a big organization such as Amar, taking the lead on this, right? It's setting the trend. So if you have, it sort of like sets the stage for other companies also to follow. And it's an amazing thing, because that means that agile mindset now we've been talking about for years, right? It's starting to find its way into cultures, into organizations with cultures such as Amar or any other big conglomerate in the region.
Yeah, it was just, to me, it was really great news, because I thought, let's say we are disrupting the way we look at the job. We are disrupting the way we look at roles, the way we look at career as well. So probably it's aligned with what you've been defining, the gig economy and how it's scaled to even C-level and senior professionals. And I think that's what really attracted you to be part of the co-founding team of Gig3. So if you can just tell us a little bit about Gig3, how it came about, and how we as experts and also as organization, even as a startup, we can benefit from the services, and what is it that you really offer, and how do you fit? Obviously, the name tells it that you are part of the gig economy.
Yeah. So Gig3 is like, it's an interesting story. So to understand what is Gig3, it's really the story behind it. So it's when I exited, my corporate job, and I decided to do, to become an expert consultant myself, right? And I crossed paths with our other co-founder and CEO, Bridges. And we both kind of like, we were exchanging. She had left, some time back, her 20 plus years with the UN, right? And what we discovered, and she had been ideating with this magnificent idea, why don't we have a space for experts to kind of meet, and to where we experts, not just me, experts who can gig their knowledge, gig their expertise to clients we know that they need right now. They might not need it in full time, but they will need it, on certain projects that were starting to come up in the region. And I was like, mind blown by the idea. And because this sits core to my belief that the future of work is no longer about your long-term, your one-time employer, your long-time, your lifetime career and stuff like a lifetime job.
Yeah.
So I fell in love with the idea, and then we came together with other co-founders. And when we said we all shared the same pain, we felt the pain. We had exited our corporate jobs at different times in our lives. We faced the pain of it's a very lonely thing to be a consultant on your own, expert on your own. It is very difficult to start making your brand being visible, because now you're no longer attached to your corporate brand. You're building your own brand, visibility of your brand, peer support, networking, exchanging knowledge. And this becomes, it weighs heavy on your shoulder. There is no community. There is no place where we can be. And that's when we saw, and at the same time, we saw the future of work heading in that direction, where companies are no longer going to employ full-time employees just for the sake of accumulating staff. They want to work with people who are experts, come and work on a project, deliver the project, and the relationship moves on. So we came together, did a lot of ideation, a lot of oh my God, the conversations, long hour of conversations and ideations and research, right? And looking at data, etc. And then we decided, no, we want to do that. We want to create a space where we bring together vetted, rockstar, best-in-class talent, bring them face-to-face, bring them closer to clients who need that expertise, make the relationship happen, right? And at the same, so both ends of the equation, and we are the third, hence the name Gig3. So it's the expert, it's the client or the enterprise, and it's us. Together, we make this a successful space. And that happened before COVID, when we decided, okay, we want to set up our tech startup. We chose to do it in Abu Dhabi in Hub 71, where all tech startups are it's now the hub for tech startups in the UAE. And there and behold, in the process of incorporating the company, there and behold, COVID happened. And what COVID did is just sort of gave us the feel okay, you proved the concept even before we even have an MVP in place. And so we decided that we are on the right track, and Gig3 is just that. Gig3 is two things. It's not just a bespoke technology that sort of marries the skills of experts who onboard to Gig3 with clients who look, or enterprises who seek these expertise, but we are also an advisory company. What we are very vested in is really helping these experts who are now out of their jobs, who are seeking to become experts in their own right or gig their knowledge in their own right, helping them get there. At the same time, helping clients understand what is gig economy, how can they gig jobs, how do they restructure their jobs, so what are the elements that they can gig and what they do not have to gig. So get in with the company, get in bed with them, and kind of also help them understand.
And Nadia, I'm sorry to interrupt you, because we have a question, so probably before you go on. So I have a question. Platforms like Freelancer and Guru have existed for many years. What's new? The issue is the view of business in the region not getting the concept and utilizing it enough, right? So that was the question for you. Then thank you for the question. Very, very, actually.
Thank you, Mayad.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayad. And this is a question we get, we receive a lot. And like I said, we receive a lot. So if you want to look at the differentiators, so what differentiates us today as Gig3? What differentiates us is definitely we are creating an exclusive space where vetted, rock star experts can belong to, right? And when I say can belong to, meaning they will sit within a community of other experts as well, who are, therefore, those pains that we felt when we crossed from the corporate to consultants, right? That peer support, ability to collaborate with other experts to gig for jobs or to gig for projects, the knowledge sharing, the ability to have personal and professional connection, to have our own tribes. I think this is one of the differentiating factors which other platforms today do not offer. The other differentiator would definitely be our bespoke technology. So we are creating our own technology. We are not just white labeling any platform really today. On the contrary, we are designing and we are giving a lot of thought on what is our UX going to look like? What is our technology in the back end? What is the deep technology behind it to make this matching, to perfect the matching that can happen, or the fit, the right fit between the client and the expert.
So the matching, what I hear from you is that your technology, bespoke technology, will be focusing on the matching rather than being just a marketplace that's sourcing talent. Is that what you're saying?
It is definitely. So thank you for mentioning the word marketplace, because we are not a marketplace. Gig3 is not a marketplace. Gig3 is an exclusive community for vetted talent, for vetted expert and senior vetted expert talent and executive level of talent. And we are not what we want to make sure and underline the word vetted. We are making sure that whoever onboards Gig3 is they go through a lengthy process of vetting if they are not within our network, and they will go through a lengthy vetting process in terms of making sure that when they feature on Gig3, our clients do not, they sort of like we have this credibility with our clients. They do not need to do any check. I do not need to double check as a client anymore if what they say on paper is really that's them or not. For me, what's important as a client, then the technology is just marrying the skills to the requirements of the job, making the fit happen. And all I have to do as a client is interview Hanan as an expert to see if she fits my project, not to double check on her or to vet her background, to vet how solid she is. Because, we know that she's been onboarded on Gig3. Gig3 has done the work for us. So the technology is just focuses on these marrying, and the vetting happens through us as Gig3 team. So, which brings me to the fourth differentiator. This is not just about a technology. This is not just about a tech platform per se. This is about us as Gig3 team also very much alive and involved in the platform, meaning we are approachable. We are very personal and approachable. And personal, I mean it. When we are vetting our talent, we want to understand them. We understand their needs, what they are looking for, right? We want to make sure that we are able to satisfy what they are. When we talk about becoming the hub of people who are looking for a remote or gig work that meets their needs and lifestyle, we want to make sure that we live up to that sort of vision that we have when we talk by building this personal relationship with the expert. Yeah. And so these are all sorts of differentiates us a lot from the existing marketplaces that are existing in
Now, before I go to Nada's question, I think the second part, it was more of a confirmation or rhetorical question by Muayyid, and he said maybe the concept is in the region is not getting the concept. And I know that you have already some clients in the region. Do you see that it's changing a little bit? That some of the big companies, and especially post-COVID, probably they are embracing the concept more, and you see it growing and emerging through your research and through your contacts, and also the clients that you're already working with while you are launching?
Even before I get into clients, the private companies we are talking to, right? We've already started. And this is what even the government in the UAE. This is the direction the government of the UAE is going through, right? Is going with. And one of our clients, for example, is a government entity, and we're talking to them. They so much get the concept. They are currently kind of like navigating out of the COVID, which you understand most companies are navigating out, but they have that as part of their human capital strategy, remote and gig work as part of it. So the government, even the government in the UAE has, is adopting it as as part of its human capital strategy. Moving to private sectors. Private sector today, realizes that there is an incredible opportunity, not only to reduce costs or cost of talent acquisition, but a broader pool of talent that is available in the region and outside the region, right? And they are realizing, so you're balancing your costs, you're maximizing on your potential of potential of the talent, right? Then why wouldn't I choose to go down that route, right? If I'm going to create impact right away, immediately, on demand and quickly, so why not? And we're seeing the appetite is incredible with companies starting to, the companies we're talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll take the final question because I think we are really, exceeded the time, but it's really very, very exciting and an intriguing topic. And I was also curious to know more about that. So Nada is also saying that. So my understanding is that Gig3 will have a regional focus based on the region's changing needs. Can you confirm that or add to it? That was from Nada.
So this is, Gig3 is, we're proud to say that Gig3 is a tech startup from the region, right? And it is meant from the region for the region, right? Mm-hmm. Having said that, it has part of its vision is also a global presence. There is nothing stopping us today from disrupting a lot of models around us from a tech startup that is from the region. But to Nada's question, absolutely. And that's why I started by giving it context. There's no one, better than us, for example, positioned today to understand what are the needs in the region. We understand but us from the region would understand what are the needs from the region, the skill gaps in the region, the future growth in the region, etc. So 100% it is. With that in mind, your talent pool is not only from the region, because now the talent pool can become broader and become globally. Yes. We are now appealing a lot to global talent, best class global talent sitting in the States, in Europe, in Asia, simply because before the proposition is like relocating to this part of the world was not interesting to them, right? But now with this concept, I am an expert sitting in New York. I am ready to engage with projects remotely and through gig work with a company sitting in the Middle East. Yeah. There's nothing stopping me now from. So the walls have broken down. There's no sort of so the access to regional and global talent becomes much more.
Absolutely. And even to companies, and I'll talk for myself as a small boutique company, it was very hard to, we work with a network of consultants, because just like even the big four are doing that right now. And it was a bit difficult to manage to work with consultants abroad, that you have to, pay for their tickets to be here, to be available, so that they can work on a project. Now the whole world is open to us to access to that knowledge and serve our clients with it without having to deal with those extra costs and without having to really worry about where to find them. So I think it's a win-win-win situation for everyone, and the trend is here and it's just going to continue, especially with the growing, with the new generation that are used to lifestyle work, that are used to being mobile and remote, and we are moving into knowledge-based economy. So definitely the talent is more based on knowledge rather than anything else, and that will continue on validating the concept of gig-free and gig economy. And what about employee experience? Because I know that's your expertise. How do you think companies can maintain that employee experience while they are including probably gig workers with a full-time, team individuals? Do you think that could impact employee experience in a way, or it's going to be again a disrupted employee experience?
I think, to start with, this part of the world needs to start, realizing that employee experience is not just like a good thing to have,
Yeah.
When HR is talking HR transformation or HR digital transformation, the core or the linchpin to doing everything is the employee experience. What kind of experience I want to give my employee?
Yeah.
And my employee could be remote. My employee could be a gig worker now. My employee could be a full-time employee. So pre-COVID, whereas HR had to face the challenge of like HR was kicking. We have HR probably people here. In the audience, and they might not probably what I'm going to say might not resonate with them, right? But I am an HR professional, and I have to say it as is. I own it as HR. That HR in the previous years have been kicking the can for a long time when it comes to employee experience. Right. And it has to be core to what we do. So now, pre-COVID, you had to worry about the employee experience of your full-time employee, right? From the time you advertise the role to the time they exit the organization and even after. Now it's added even more complexity to it because now as HR, you have to think, absolutely, be very intentional about designing the employee experience of your gig worker, which is different from your full-time employee, with elements that could be different from your remote worker. And unless HR accepts this reality it is in, and it is important to accept it, otherwise, this is a function that's risking to go extinct. That's how important employee experience is.
Great, thank you. And I had a question from Ayed. Are we as Gig3 live? I sent him the website because I know the website is gig3.com, but where could the audience find out more? Or are you onboarding talent? Are you already working with clients? Are you already launching? If not, when? So it'd be good to give us this information as a close.
So at the moment, can you hear me, Hanan? Because I think you can hear me.
Yes.
So at the moment, yes, the website you have directed the talent to it's just a landing page. It's more of because the technology is being developed and we hope that we go live in early Q4, hopefully in October. Our target date is October 2020. So in the meantime, this is a landing page. If you scroll down the landing page, you will see email addresses, 2 email addresses, if you wish to connect with us to understand more about Gig3. And so it's just a matter of an email, and we're there to. In answer to your question, yes, absolutely, we are onboarding talent. We have onboarded superb experts from all around the world so far. Right? We have even onboarded, we have soft onboarded them at the moment because there's no platform where they sit, but we have captured their data, we know, and with the moment, and at the same time, we're talking to clients. So we're doing manual matching, even outside the platform is really live at the moment. Yeah. So yes, the platform will go live in Q4. In the meantime, please go ahead, check the email, send us an email, Muayyad. More than happy to answer any questions that you have. Follow us on LinkedIn as well, because we have a page now. Gig3 has a page on LinkedIn. And plus, they can follow my LinkedIn page, Brigitte's LinkedIn page. All the details will be on. We're happy to answer any question they have.
Excellent. Well, I guess every, as they say, a lot of adverse times are blessing in disguise. And looking at so much talent that had to be let go, probably could find, embracing the gig work will be the next, especially if somebody has 20, 30 years of experience and they feel that nobody's going to recruit them as full-timers, but they have so much experience and so much knowledge.
Absolutely.
And in a space like Gig3 probably would create new opportunities while, this talent could be staying home if they had to go back home, but still can access the market through Gig3 or through the gig economy and platforms like Gig3. Thank you, Hanan. It was really amazing.
Thank you so much.
Do you have any closing comments or add anything?
I think, the last few words I leave with, this is gig economy is really can create economic value to companies, to communities, right, and to nations. And I think if when we do it right and when we understand and do it right, I think with that, I leave, gig economy will be important, will be a key component when it comes to business continuity, when it comes to even, like you said, generating income for people who are losing these jobs, regardless where they might end up. Relocating out of the GCC, staying within GCC, doesn't matter, or the MENA. but it's exactly this: business continuity and generating income. These are the two most immediate things that gig economy is a solution for, right? Or is part of a solution for. Other than that, I mean, it's just an incredible opportunity which HR is invited to explore.
Great. Well, thank you. I think it's really it's like a light at the end of the tunnel where everybody's talking about jobs lost. So you're coming with this platform to create hopes and to create positivity for everyone. So thank you so much for clarifying a lot of misconceptions and making everybody understand about the gig economy and its acceptance in the region. I wish everybody the best. Thank you. Really, I really learned a lot about it, and I'm excited to know more. And so thank you, everyone. Thank you for being engaged.
Thank you so much.
Listening, for being patient. Thank you, Mayed. And we'll see you not next week. We're taking a break because there's Eid al-Adha, so we thought people will be busy celebrating. So we'll see you the first week of August with another webinar from System Leadership webinar series and another insightful guest. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.